Okay, now we're in the question and answer portion. I'm going to go up to the top here to see what we have for some questions for you, Tim, in the order they were received. All right, we're starting from the beginning here. Nicola comments, Fort Collins having a publicly owned fiber optic network utility. And I'm just going to kind of read these, Tim, and if you feel like you want to jump in to comment or answer, whatever, a lot of these might be comments here. Let's see. Oh, Kimberly asks how the SAR testing differs from adult to children. What are children issues, especially what should schools be trying to do? But I think that we kind of cover that in our Wired Schools group, Tim, and we can maybe kind of encourage Kimberly to look into joining our group, if I may suggest that, like through Facebook, if you have access to that, look for Wired Schools, and we can hook you up with a lot of good information there. If you don't, feel free to send me an email and I'll get you some information going on that as well. I'll include my email address in the comments. And Sheldon, let's see. He's saying if electrical use needs to be measured, controlled by device in a home or business to save money for the home or business owner for preventing blackouts, is there any advantage of 5G over wired access to an electrical control box?
No. There's for that purpose. There's plenty of wired technology to do that. You don't need wireless for that.
Okay, and he's also asking, can a municipality's fiber system be hijacked by carriers to connect their servers to small cell transceivers on light poles, only in the 20 states with common laws in favor of industry?
Well, that's a very good question, and the answer is political control of your locality. One thing is, it could, I suppose it could be if this city government was. They could be co-opted into doing something like that. But that's up. At least you have political control of your city council, and you can stop it from happening. That's what democracy is supposed to be. So it is a possibility. But generally, if the city owns the fiber system, they can determine who's going to use it and for what. And then if the wireless guys want to offer cell sites, they have to put in their own fiber.
So great response there. And so I know we've Paul mentioned something, and I believe Nicola was going to share something that I think it kind of hit today, revealed that I believe it's Amazon has authorized their employees to essentially spy on people's conversations that they think they're having privately in their homes with their new best friend, the personal assistant Alexa. Nicola, did you have a chance to look up on that to share more with us about that, talking about surveillance from this technology?
Well, I just wanted to know if Tim, could speak to this unauthorized wiretapping and surveillance from this technology, and I guess the solution is in the wire.
Yeah, well, it's a little bit more than that, but you're right. The purpose of these devices put forward by Amazon, Google, all of them, maybe not as much Apple as others, because Apple has been much more supportive of privacy regulation. But the purpose is to gather data about you and sell it or to monetize it in some way. And one of the purposes of my trip recently to the standards work I'm doing is to create a gateway a wired gateway for controlling access to these type of devices in the home, so that they can be adhere to basic principles of privacy and security. And that is not in place yet, but we're working on standards to make that possible, so that those kinds of devices would be, at least people would understand exactly what they're exposing themselves to. and gain some control over it if they want it.
Tim, are there any kind of adapters you can use to wire these devices?
Well, Alexa is going to be hooked up. Something like that is a feature of like home automation or home control system that can be either wired or wireless, depending on how you you don't have to have a wireless system. You can get it if you have fiber or copper to your house and you get internet access that way, you can make it wired. But it's still going to be spying on you the way it is now. That's what we're trying to fix. We're trying to establish international standards for privacy, security, and safety for home equipment.
Yeah, that would be great. The Chromebooks that the children use in schools have Bluetooth in them, and so they also capture their voice.
Yeah, well, that needs to be. We need technical standards that support privacy and security, and that's one of the things I'm working on now. International standards.
Thank you.
Excellent. I mean, that's good to hear. And I see a comment here from Sheldon saying, I have dozens of copies of his reports and sharing the email address Hines, Hines, 1949 @gmail.com. Hines, 1949 @gmail.com. I trust that's okay to share in as much as you posted that on chat. And Sarah is asking, what are the rights of workers who don't want to be exposed? Do you have any thoughts on that, Tim?
Well, organize. That's the only thing you can do. You need to organize and look here again, political action for labor standards. These are workplace issues. That's what we used to have labor unions for, but we got to get back to that somehow.
Okay, sounds good. And I'm seeing one last question from Sarah. I don't think Alexa could be wired. I did the research. It's wireless only. I think we would need legislators to write bills. So don't know if you want to maybe speak to that.
Well, my understanding is, I don't have that in my house, but my understanding is that it's a voice control system. In other words, a voice recognition that can exercise control, and it may be, I don't know what the actual boxes they're selling, how they work, but they're. I would assume that it can be wired, but maybe, it might be wrong. Maybe it isn't. I just don't know the answer to that question, but it certainly should be something that can be hardwired. But the privacy issue is not. Wiring doesn't fix all the privacy issue. It makes it possible, but it doesn't fix it necessarily. You've got to also have standards for what data can be captured and sent out to the on to the internet. Control that, then all your wired and wireless devices are equally invading your privacy and security.
Right. That's appreciate that. And looks like we have a last comment here. Would like to know if Tim believes we're headed where China is going with their social credit system in terms of surveillance and collecting data.
Well, that's an interesting question. And I was on a teleconference earlier today. I'm a member. I'm a U.S. I've been appointed as a U.S. expert for International Committee of the International Electrotechnical Commission on what they call smart city. The smart city, and it's a real hot topic right now in the international standards, the technology standards world. What's a smart city? Okay, nobody really knows what a smart city is, but there are a lot of committees being formed, technical committees, to try to define that, and I deal with this in my report to some extent. There's two places in my report where I talk about smart cities. and one in the conclusion and one in an earlier section. And I say that basically smart cities are a marketing category, but it's not a specific technology. But this issue of what the purpose of the smart city is a matter of up in the air right now as we speak. There are papers. The Asian vision of the smart city is a surveillance system, basically, for social control. That's my opinion, but and from just reading the technical papers I've seen, the smart city vision in the European and maybe American sense is not about surveillance, at least yet. It's more about services, managing services and sharing sensors between types of services, like water service, electric service, traffic control, making traffic lights work better, stuff like that. That's the smart city. But the problem is the wireless, the 5G guys want to take it over and make basically it all a wireless system so they can sell more devices and gather more data. And and in China, it's more than that. It's the government too. So it's a tough issue. It's in play right now. It's all in the process of being defined, and looks like I'm going to have to write some more papers on it.
And Susie says smart cities are being rolled out as resilient cities and cities climate action. So,
well, that should be that.
Modisette, and Nicola, and a social media about Facebook fiber. Okay, that's the book there. She's asking, how does the SAR testing? Okay, I apologize. These are kind of popping up as new. We are concerned that smart cities will be bundled with 5G. What do we need to watch out for in talking to city officials?
Well, I had that conversation just today. I said to the International Committee on Smart Cities, I said I made the comment that the basic infrastructure is fiber, that this smart city, it's just like a water system. It should be treated as a basic infrastructure, and then wireless is just whatever you might want on top of that, but it should not it should not be framed around 5G or any other kind of wireless service. Excellent.
I think we've covered a lot of ground, and everyone is, thank you so much for participating. I think we've gotten a lot of great questions, and this video will be run through a light edit, and we'll be posting it on YouTube and sharing through Facebook. And if you'd like to get on our emailing list for the Wire Group School to make sure you know when this is being rolled out, simply I'll have my email address, but it's studio_luna@comcast.net. And if you'd like to be added to that emailing list for Wired Schools, just send me an email with Wired in the subject line, and I'll get you added to that so you'll know when this is coming together. So we'll be posting a lot of related information for more information, and we'll be doing another roundtable soon and to carry the conversation forward. So thank you very much, everyone, and appreciate your time. Tim, thank you so much. You're just a wealth of information. So keep writing, no pressure, okay?
Okay. All right. Well, I got several more things to write about here. So let's see a comment that the FCC's tied our hands. Well, I say no, let's sue them. There are several people doing that right now.
All right. Very good. So sounds good. A robust conversation. Appreciate it very much.
Very good.
Bye for now, everyone. Thank you.